There's been no shortage of concerns around privacy on Facebook over the last few years, so it's concerning to some that Facebook have launched a new messenger service for kids. Should you be signing your children up for it? Is it something to be avoided? Maybe they've fixed it and maybe there's no concerns with it at all. To debate that, we have Ben Grubb, who you can see in the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age, and we have Angharad Yeo from Good Game Spawn Point. All right, walk me through it. Exactly what does it do?
Basically, the idea behind it is that it's for under 13s and it's all locked down and controlled by the parents. So I actually signed up an account for my dog so that I could check it out. And you go through this process of making an account that's linked to the adult's Facebook account. And then you can choose to add people generally that you're already connected with. So I can see if any of my friends have kids who have accounts and add them. You can also add people via a 4-word code, but all ads have to be verified by the attached adult account. So the idea behind it is that it's, in very inverted commas, safe for children to use and talk to their friends via video messaging and things like that. It's also got some games attached to it. I drew a shark that I then sent to myself.
It's a good day, wasn't it?
As I sent it to myself, it's been a great morning. As I sent it to myself, it says, "Guess what I've drawn?" So that was fun.
I see isolation is treating you well. I guess it has to be said, Ben, there's no shortage of concerns people have had with Facebook over the last few years around privacy and use of data. The idea of Facebook making something for kids, I think, understandably, there's an impulse reaction to just be like, dear God, no.
In these corona times, I understand why, children, we want to keep them connected. And if they're unable to be, this provides a good solution. Or does it? And if you really want to be supervising your kids, you'd probably want to be with them at all times while they're using technology. And I often see stuff like this where it's looking for a problem that doesn't necessarily exist. If you want to call your friend, and FaceTime with them, or use another service on Android or Skype, you can just, you get your parents' phone, call that person and chat with them. Obviously, with this one, you can there's a few other features, like drawing sharks, it seems, as you have pointed out there, playing some games and so forth. Though I thought the whole idea with Facebook is that, 13 years and younger, at least under American law, you're not allowed to sign up to it. And how was this meant to get around it? I'm not exactly sure.
Well, this is my biggest thing with it, because I think Facebook Messenger is basically the Dolomites of Facebook. It's this thing you do with kids to get them to sign up early so that when they come of age, they've already got an account and you can roll them out.
Absolutely. I think that's what it is. And they get around it by technically the kid doesn't have an account. It's attached to the parent's account. So they say that Facebook doesn't automatically convert Messenger kids' accounts to full Facebook accounts when they get older and create their own. But I think automatically is a very contentious word in that statement, because it's probably like an opt-in that you can't necessarily see. It's not necessarily clear that that's what's going to happen. And it's also important to note that Facebook still collects all of the data on these messages. It still retains all of the messages and all of the pictures, audio, video that's going to be created and sent. And if you delete your child's account, that doesn't automatically wipe everything that they've sent. They say in it that content still exists by the person that's received it, and they will continue to have that content basically unless they delete their account. If they forward any of your videos or photos to other people, those people will still have it as well.
And I guess that leads me to another thing, Rad. Are there better messaging apps for kids that are worth pointing to? Because, historically, Facebook, bless them, do this thing where they popularise something, but are there other things out there that are probably better for this?
I feel like anytime you have an online messaging service, I don't think that you can make that 100% safe, really, because you are connecting people to talk to one another. And I don't think that it's possible to have absolute full control. Because if you think about it, if you are authorizing this app on your phone and you're giving your kid your phone to use it, they could accept requests for chat that you don't necessarily see. There's always ways around it, and kids are savvy. They could give their 4-word code to the internet, the wider internet, and they could have people add them. They could go into your messenger, accept those, delete the message where it says that they've accepted it, and just talk to strangers.
In this app, the design flaw allowed kids to join group chats with friends of friends who were not approved by the parents. And they patched that up, but you're going to always have those types of issues that you can't really control.
This is a positive that I'm not fully sure if I believe, that because Facebook are such a large company, they do have more people to catch these things and put out the spot fires and build something more quickly. So we do see, we've talked previously about kids' smartwatches and a lot of the holes in their software that allowed privacy concerns, allowed people to accidentally see the tracking of kids that weren't theirs and things like that. So I do think that with the amount of scrutiny on Facebook, they will patch these things a lot quicker than perhaps a smaller company. That's just so that they can continue to harvest data.
So they can continue harvest data is as good as any ending idea. There is lots more of this in the podcast of Download This Show. You can find it wherever you podcast. See you guys.